to their aid. You know, and I do that because I prefer to have a hands-on ministry. I prefer not to be standoffish. In the midst of that, that's good and bad. And a lot of times that's bad for the leader, because now all of a sudden you can create people that are spoiled, in a sense. Are you following what I'm saying? And so if I don't reach them or they can't reach me, they might have an attitude. You always there. You didn't give me them socks. Are you following? And also it can create a spirit where you become, you can become like the disciples did with Jesus, where they became used to him, and then they began to take him for granted. It can also create that type of, that's another thing. Because you're so used to something, sometimes we tend to take things for granted that we're used to having all the time. Sometimes we don't understand how precious something is that we have because we're used to having it. Where somebody else who doesn't have that, that would be very precious to them. And sometimes we can't see that. That's in your personal life. And some people, even with yourself, you've dealt with people and you've been a friend to them or a loyal spouse to them or a loyal whatever to them, and they get used to your kindness. They get used to you being there for them and giving them money and having their back and supporting them. And they get so used to it, they start to take it for granted and don't appreciate it. Oh, come on, somebody. It's the same thing. When you get, especially when you're giving out excellence. Sometimes people, when they get excellence, they can have excellence so much they don't know how good they got it. Yeah, sometimes you don't know how good you got it until it's not there. That's right. Remember the prodigal son? He didn't realize how good he had it till he was sitting there getting ready to eat out the hog pen. Then he realized, you know what, I should have stayed at home. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Children, a lot of times they do that. They want to move out to mama's house, daddy's house. They want to leave real quick. Want to get out on their own. Let me go, let me go. Got the road, dog, got the road. Because when I get out here, I'm going to be on my own. I can do what I want to do. But they don't realize they got bills to pay now.
Come on.
Got bills to pay now. You don't realize you got a bill to pay now. Now you got Amber to deal with. See, you weren't dealing with Amber before. You weren't dealing. You were looking at mom and daddy. Give me this, give me that. But you wouldn't understand it. Mama was dealing with things and daddy were dealing with things you didn't have to deal with. Now Amber is coming directly to you. Oh, y'all don't know any word. Amber is coming, you know, Southwestern Bell coming.
That's right.
Whatever cell phone company you got, they coming. Snooks is coming, because now you got to put food in the refrigerator. Now you got to feed yourself.
Amen. That's right.
You was running out getting McDonald's when you wanted to, living in a Villa Loca. Come on, somebody coming in chilling. Didn't even want to eat mama's cookies. Nah, that's old school. I'm gonna go down and run for the border, you know. And you had money to do it because you wasn't paying for anything. Oh, y'all don't want no words. So you know, you demanding clothes. I don't want these clothes. I don't want this. But you have no job. You have no job, and yet you see they were providing for you. She was providing for you. He was providing for you. Y'all don't want no word. And all that stuff was blocked. Taxes was blocked. The stress of dealing with crazy bosses was blocked. Everything was blocked. But when you stepped outside and got on your own, out from under the umbrella, all of a sudden there was a direct link to you now. And you realize it wasn't so bad at home. Let me suggest to you that if you step outside this house, you may realize it wasn't so bad at the temple. To God be the glory. It wasn't so bad like I thought it was. I'm talking about real ministry. A lot of ministries now, and nothing wrong with it, but a lot of ministries, you can't really see the real ministry for all the hype. All the entertainment shadows the real source of the ministry. The real source of the ministry is the word, the teaching, the deliverance, the healing, the manifestation, the change. I mean real change. I'm not talking about pseudo change. I'm not talking about religion. This is not religion. God never meant for us to be religious or have religion. That's what we made up. Oh yeah. I'll teach that later. Read, minister, please.
As a co-worker, I could understand how he felt in some areas, but also knew he was offended and that the offense had taken hold of him, spurring his discontent. I listened for a while, but then I knew enough had been said. I told him that I knew he was offended and that he had to get rid of it or it would destroy his ministry.
Stop right there. The man told him, he said, look, you got to get rid of the offense. When the enemy comes to offend you over anything, you have to get rid of that because it will destroy your ministry. You cannot pray with unforgiveness in your heart. God can't hear your prayer with unforgiveness. When God teaches you to forgive or to get rid of the offense, it's not that God is not concerned about how you feel about something. It's because God knows that as long as you walk or have that type of spirit or attitude, then your prayers can't be answered. Are you following what I'm saying? Forgiveness is for you. That's why the enemy wants you to hold grudges. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you. Say it with me. Forgiveness is for me. Say it with me.
Forgiveness is for me.
It's for you. Some people are bound because they're still holding grudges of what people have done to them over the years. And you have to let that go because it's keeping you in bondage. You think you're hurting the other person. In actuality, you're hurting yourself. You're hindering yourself. Bitterness, unforgiveness causes other things. It brings about bitterness. It brings about bitterness. It brings about resentment. It brings about a plethora of other spirits. So he said, you got to get rid of that. Now, because if you don't, you end up walking in this type of spirit. Okay, read on, Minister Cooper.